Let me tell you about our newest partner, Mint Mobile. With Mint Mobile, you can drop your expensive cell phone plan without having to sacrifice coverage, speed, or data. They're able to provide such an amazing offer by cutting out the middleman and selling to you directly online. Plans start for as little as $15 a month. $15 a month, guys. That is so unbelievably cheap. And making the switch is incredibly easy. Keep your current phone and phone number and activate your plan in minutes. Remember to support those who help us. Just go to trymintmobile.com/thoseguys to get started. That's trymintmobile.com/thoseguys.
Those guys.
All right, Tyler, I'm just going to throw this at you as we go for a little break. I know more about physics than Isaac Newton ever did.
You hate.
I'm going to say no, you don't.
Of course I do.
No, you don't.
He didn't even know what a friggin' atom was, okay? I do. I went to school with an atom.
What's an atom?
An atom is just I don't have to prove myself to you.
That's a
Smarter than Sir Isaac Newton.
Weird example to go to.
That's not how conversations work. It's not a test. This isn't tests, my Haitian. This is a conversation. You're being a dick.
Those guys you hate. Guys you hate. Guys you hate.
And we are back. Ryan, welcome back once again.
Howdy, howdy.
For another... You cannot make that your thing.
Ashtanga.
You can.
You choose one of those two, Tyler. I'm one of those two. Because you won't call me Sloppy Poppy.
I won't call you Sloppy Poppy.
Okay, then.
All right, Ashtanga it is. Because howdy is awful.
Howdy, howdy.
No, you would choose the opposite of whatever I picked.
How about ahoy, ahoy?
That's so much worse. That's so much worse.
Well, I just can't make you happy, Tyler.
No, you can't.
All right.
I can't make myself happy. Good luck you trying.
Just keep trying.
Ryan, I got a fun fact.
Oh, God, you're so good. So good. So good and tasty.
What is that originally from?
I have no idea.
I hate it. You can tell his mouth is completely full with something that is gelatinous.
Yeah.
It's not like a piece of chicken. It's like fluffernutter.
Or Jello.
Sure.
Yeah, jelly, something like that.
Mine was funner to say.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but it sounds delicious.
What he's eating?
He seems to be enjoying the hell out of it.
He's doing that to be rude.
Ryan, chainsaws were first invented for childbirth.
Oof.
Developed in Scotland.
Is that what the CNC section stands for?
Good question. I don't think so, though.
Oh.
Developed in Scotland in the late 18th century to help aid and speed up the process of Oh, wait, hold on. I got this.
You nailed it.
Hold
I could tell.
No.
About to nail it.
Symphysiotomy.
Oh, for
Symphysiotomy.
Sure. That's like the prehistoric episiotomy.
It's a widening of the pubic cartilage and removal of disease-laden bone during childbirth.
Okay.
Let's
everybody bring it down a notch.
It wasn't until the start of the 20th century that we started using chainsaws for wood chopping.
Okay.
200 years later, Ryan.
How do you not hit the baby?
They probably did quite often.
Is that what the C stands for in C-section?
I can't imagine. No, the C stands for cesarean.
Isn't that Greek for chainsaw?
I can't imagine there's a Greek word for chainsaw.
I've heard it. What? Okay, there's a lot of things being thrown around right now. That's pretty crazy.
Why would there be an ancient Greek word for chainsaw?
I didn't say ancient Greek. You know the Greeks still exist, right?
Yeah, you can't prove that.
We haven't evolved away from the Greeks. Okay, chainsaws. I don't know how you're not cutting down to the... you know, an episiotomy, where they make your butthole and your vagina one giant hole.
Yeah, it's one giant butthole.
One giant butthole. This is that on steroids.
Yeah.
They're just going hem to haw.
Yeah, but I mean, at least they got home in time for dinner, you know?
Yeah,
none of that,
they got cow tipping to get to.
None of that surgical stuff,
They
you know?
didn't even have social media back then. What were they doing that was so important?
Cow tipping, you just said it.
Fair enough.
Now, Ryan, you saw that, obviously, the Trump, they had a rally in Pennsylvania last week.
Yeah, I've heard some stuff.
They had the assassination attempt, which was an insane moment in American in worldwide history.
Something that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Much like 9/11, this is something that will be etched into your mind for the rest of your life.
I agree. Do you think it changed him at all?
I can't imagine for the better. But that's not what we're here to talk about, Ryan.
Agreed.
You're not going to pull me into this conversation.
I've been really grabbing the steering wheel today. I apologize.
You're not going to be grabbing me in that way. You heard me. I do want to talk about the other major incident, though. Did you hear about this?
I mean, you're leading me in a circuitous route, seemingly on purpose.
I am.
Sure.
Okay. For the audience, let's get down to the brass tacks here.
Is it the source angled banner?
No.
Okay.
You're the pro here. You're the expert. Tell the audience what Grindr is.
Grindr is the only way to get fucked. No, Grindr is it's a dating, quote unquote.
It's a hookup app.
It's a hookup app for the gays.
Yeah.
They go on there and they commit all their sins. And they mobilize it, not unlike Pokemon. Like if Pokemon Go was going to take you directly to hell.
That's pretty good. It's not far off, to be honest with you.
I jest. It's a hookup app for people for same sex relationships
for gay men.
Is it only gay men?
Only gay men. There are no women on there. Not that I know of.
I guess that would be musher.
Yeah. Yes, Ryan. Yes. Out of all the times I've jumped on there for research purposes, I've never seen a woman. I'll tell you that much.
Well, you wouldn't have access to the women.
No, there are no women on there. It's a gay.
Okay.
It's a gay men hookup.
All
app.
the times I've been on there, I haven't either. So there you go.
There you go. That was my joke. Thank you for stealing it.
It's also mine.
When the rally in Pennsylvania happened, Grindr happened to have its largest blackout in its history.
Because?
In that area, because so many people were accessing the app in a small space.
So wait a minute.
It crashed the system.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that the gay community traveled along with all these Republicans? That's fucking crazy. What are the chances?
It just blows my mind, and I knew it was true already, but it just blows my mind how seemingly not all of them, but a large portion of these people who are against gays seemingly have some gay tendencies themselves.
That's not shocking, though.
No, not shocking at all, but this is quantifiable proof. This is empirical evidence.
Is that empirical, though? Can you prove that it's them? I totally understand what you're saying, but I don't know if it's empirical. Is there data? You would need more proof than that. That's circumstance.
Fair enough, but
your point stands.
But it does seem to
right.
reason. Quite the coincidence, I should say, that the servers went down in that area.
Your point stands
because this group of people got together. It's very interesting to me, and it leads me to a much grander conversation about how so much hatred out in the world, if not all of the hatred out there in the world, is due to people how they feel about themselves. And it's deeply upsetting. Also hilarious, given the circumstance.
When I embarrassed myself on Depression Index and I said, what would my body feel like right now if I loved everybody in this gym? Every single one of them, I felt love for these people. All those problems, 1,000,000% start with you. Start with your ability. If you can't feel love for yourself, you can't give it to anybody else. And we bring up John Wayne Gacy all the time because he's such an extreme example of somebody who was gay that was taught by somebody that he respected very much and wanted the approval of that his father gay is evil. And what that does to you, the tumult that brings, and that's where ignorance feeds into evil because you're not in touch enough to recognize, hey, the most important thing here is that you love yourself, no matter what it is.
Yeah, and it saddens me that all these people out there not only inflict this pain upon others, but the tumult and the turmoil, as you stated, that they must be going through on a daily basis. And it sucks that they don't have the awareness that instead of putting it out there into the world, looking inward and asking themselves, how can I change? How can I feel better? And I can only assume so many of these, primarily men, I would assume, feel trapped. They feel like they can't get out. They're in this world.
That's where the anger comes from.
Of course, where they're in this world where they're surrounded by these people, or they're all in on it together. We hate gay people, and a lot of you are gay. You know, it's sad.
It's got to be awkward when you show. It's like the Pina Colada song. You show up and you're like, dude, I don't know.
All right, so we're gonna fucking this never happened.
Okay, I'll tell you where to put that placard. Yeah, it's a tough thing, and hopefully we're evolving as a species because we're no longer physically evolving because we're not getting killed by saber-toothed tigers anymore, but hopefully we're evolving as a species to be more understanding so that hopefully we could weed some of this out. It seems as though it's getting more extreme, but I don't know if that's true or just the news telling me that.
Well, first of all, yes, that the news does not do us any, the media does not do us any favors on that because all they want to show you.
It's a lot Rush Limbaugh.
Is well, you're not wrong.
Wow, finally I got one of those right.
But the problem is that I think that it's actually getting better. And the only reason why I say that is because as these extremist groups get whittled down and whittled down and whittled down, they become louder and louder. The more insecure you become, the louder you become. Look at the newer generations. Look at Gen Z and Gen Alpha. No generation in modern history has ever been this out in terms of their sexuality. Bisexuality in the younger generations has skyrocketed.
I kissed a girl.
People, what?
And I liked it.
People have never been this open and out with their sexuality, nor has it ever been this approved by their fellow man.
Yeah, and you're growing up around it. People are getting closer and closer as we demolish this planet, and we'll see. I do know my son in his generation, they do seem to be a lot more accepting,
tolerant
than we were.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully, this the true enemy here is lack of information.
Ignorance.
It's fear, and fear stems from ignorance.
Absolutely. Well said.
Fuck a dude.
Yeah.
Fuck a dude.
Yeah, it'll make you feel better.
Sure, you won't be gay.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, if you fuck a dude, you're definitely gay.
Please.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm gay.
Yeah.
I'm gay.
A little bit, yeah.
All right, that actually answers a lot of questions.
And stop crashing the Grindr app. Some other of us want to use that thing.
That's just rude. That's just bad etiquette.
Let's go to break.
I know everyone says this, but I am genuinely excited to tell you about our newest sponsor, Keen. What is Keen, you ask? I cannot wait to tell you. Keen is the leading provider of online psychic readings. With more than 35 million successful sessions under their belt, Keen is one of the most trusted providers in the space. I'm talking about tarot readings. I'm talking about love life readings. I'm talking about astrology readings. And yes, I'm talking about chakra cleansings and many more areas of expertise. Go to trykeen.com/thoseguys and get your first 5 minutes of any reading for only $1. What? The world is made up of things we don't understand, of things we can't see or touch, so expand your horizons while supporting those guys you hate.
Those guys.
Can I tell you, and perhaps this is a little bit too much insight into my life,
This will be good.
first time I ever did a finger banging?
Go on.
In my church where they keep the choir robes.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Exactly. Yes, he was there, Tyler.
Wait a minute. Oh.
You hate.
Were you doing the finger banging or were you receiving the finger
You
banging?
asking me if some girl was fingering my butt in church, Tyler?
Didn't have to be a girl.
That is way too far. It was actually my youth leader. Garrett, I miss you.
oddly specific. That is not improv.
Those guys you hate.
And we are back for our final session. Ryan.
Howdy, howdy.
God damn it.
I was like, man, I really hope I get a little window here.
Let's just do week in review, please.
Sure. Week in review is Tyler and I say silly stuff. Then inevitably somebody says, oh, week in review. And we look it up and we see how silly it was. Tyler, what you got?
Next week is going to be a loaded potato
a lot going on.
Of week in
It
review.
was a flurry.
Ryan, you asked me last week you asked me how I refer to boobs during sex.
You looked this up?
And we only came up with 2 examples, tits and boobs.
Oh, okay. That's embarrassing.
Did I look up more examples?
Probably not.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
Oh, my Lord, that's loud.
You obviously have the more proper way of referring to them, like bosom or chest.
Sure.
But what about hooters, melons, teat, udders, cans, jugs? What about bongos?
No, nobody's ever said that.
Chesticles?
Chesticles, tatas?
Chubby chest cheeks?
Chubby chest cheeks.
What about flabbergasters?
That's not.
Honey hams?
Oh, what?
Any of these?
I love a honey ham.
Any of these doing anything for you, buddy?
Do you know that humans are the only animal that maintain their breasts when they're not mating or attracting a mate? Other species, they puff up and then they go back. Humans are the only ones whose breasts remain full.
Good for you, humans.
Tatas.
What about babushkas?
I like that.
Baby buffets?
That's clever.
Tater tots?
That's terrible.
Chest butt?
Okay.
Party pillows? And finally,
Go on.
knockers.
Knockers. What's your favorite one of all of those?
Knockers is kind of funny.
Sure.
Or chubby chest cheeks is just fun to say.
Okay. I'm a classics man. I'm a Hooters guy.
Hooters.
Hooters.
Hooters. Let me see your Hooters.
Hooters if I'm in a rush of hoots.
I just go with the classic. I say tits.
Let me see them hoots. Tyler, last week I had referenced movies when translated to another language became hilarious. Do I hope they still are?
Yes.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
All right. I'm going to give you 3 of them, Tyler. You tell me the movie that you think that I'm referencing. You understand? Mm-hmm. It would be weird if you didn't. All right. What movie, when switched to Chinese, was entitled Superpower Dare Die Team?
Is that the A-Team?
No, unfortunately, that is
Is that the losers?
Ghostbusters.
Say the title again?
Superpower Dare Die Team.
That's not fair.
Well, I mean,
I know.
Speak to China. I
Yeah.
don't know. I've been calling. They don't call me back.
Get China on the phone.
All right, Tyler. What movie was, when switched to Chinese, entitled His Powerful Device Makes Him Famous?
His powerful device makes him famous. Oh my goodness. I don't know. What is it?
Boogie Nights. That one at least stands to reason. His powerful device makes him famous.
Oh, they're talking about his wiener.
His schlong, Tyler.
Oh.
You want to look up some words for schlong?
We can review.
There you go. We can review.
I could, oh man, see, my brain went immediately to like Doctor Who or, somebody with an actual electronic device.
I understand. Do you remember, and forgive me while you were saying that my mind went off, do you remember when we did the tournament for terms for poop? Mm-hmm. And we whittled it whittle by whittle, we got to the middle and we got to squeeze the cheese.
Yeah, squeeze the cheese.
Maybe you could do that with dicks. I don't know.
Okay,
and finally, Tyler, when translated to Chinese, what movie was entitled Mr. Cat Poop? You got this one. Come on.
Mr. Cat, is it Garfield?
I'll even give you a hint. It's not Garfield. I'm going to give you a hint.
Okay.
This is a Jack Nicholson vehicle. So I'm really helping you out here. Mr. Cat Poop.
Anger management? I don't fucking know.
I'm sorry that precious gem where Jack Nicholson has OCD, as good as it gets, in Chinese, Mr. Cat Poop.
I don't understand that.
That's the joke, Tyler.
Okay.
Mr. Cat Poop.
Got it.
And
Got
that obviously, as the saying goes, something was lost in translation. Or added. I don't know.
Well done, Ryan. Ryan, last week we asked, did either fries or burgers
I did this one too.
originate in Belgium?
Did we say burgers?
We said either fries or burgers. We were confused by which was which.
Okay, before I hit the button, fries we believe was in Belgium. I thought I think now that burgers originated in Germany.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
yeah.
No.
I'm glad we worked to no one. We needed it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's really hard to nail down where either of these things originated specifically.
Sure.
But Belgians swear by the fact that fries were created there. Burgers seem to have been created in the United States.
What?
But it's hard to pinpoint where and when exactly.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, putting a meat patty between two
What about
buns.
Hamburg?
That is a United States invention.
And did you know German chocolate cake invented in America?
I believe it. Yeah, we call them French fries. They were invented in Belgium.
I call them freedom fries. Villagers along the river Meuse in Namur, Belgium,
Nailed it.
who traditionally ate fried fish would fry potatoes instead when the river froze over in the winter. And to mimic the size of the fish they were used to eating, they would slice the potatoes thinly.
Thank you for that.
Oh, I mean,
Thank you.
there aren't a lot of things that you and I agree on. French fries?
You agree on things all the time.
Not a lot of things, Tyler.
I disagree with you on that.
Tyler, we discussed last week on which sports were growing the fastest. Did I blow off the assignment?
No.
No.
Obviously, the sport that's growing the fastest is pickleball. And the reason you know that is because nobody can say the word pickleball without telling you that it's the fastest growing sport. It's really annoying.
Yeah, and in all fairness, you're hearing about it everywhere.
Enough. Have you ever played?
No.
I want to play.
I'm really terrified of blowing out my ACL.
Please. What has your ACL or your MCL ever done for you?
It keeps me upright.
Does it?
I do prefer the horizontal. But vertical is important.
I need to have a real one-to-one with your MCL. Okay. So, but I looked up the fastest growing leagues.
Okay.
Okay. You have
Like professional
professional
sports.
leagues. So I have the top 3. Do you want to hazard a guess?
I would say number 1 is the NBA.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, actually, I believe the NBA is kind of tailing off a little bit.
Oh, I thought they
now.
were exploding right now.
No. Number 3, women's soccer.
Okay. I mean, they're good. Or at least they went years in a row where they were really, really good.
Well, that's the American team. Now, this is women's soccer, the league.
But here in America.
Here in America.
Well, I figured
not
that
the-
brought a lot of attention to that sport.
Okay,
But okay.
That stands to reason.
Yeah.
Them being so dominant for so long.
Yeah.
You're probably right about that. Number 2, I figured you would have guessed this one. WNBA.
That was going to be my next
right
guess.
now, and it's really seeing such success, and I think it's a beautiful thing. I know that's not a risky opinion to have, but I think it's awesome to see people become more and more interested in the WNBA. Not myself personally, but
Well, I think you have two things happening simultaneously, whereas they finally got their superstar in Caitlin Clark. I'm hesitant to say Michael Jordan, but it is their.
But there's other women who are as good as her.
Nobody's ever gotten this kind of celebrity
Well,
before.
why?
I don't know.
She's white.
I don't know the
You're
answer
thinking,
to that.
I can see it in your eyes.
And also, they're starting industries like ESPN are starting to cover it wall to wall. And when the giant billion-dollar corporations
they decide who's
they
big.
decide,
Sure.
yeah. So
And-
now it's their time.
And just the way that it all rolled out from her college ending with
Yeah.
her and Asia Wilson. I'm not going to embarrass myself here. Number 1 growing sports
League.
Thank you. You saw me struggling. Lacrosse.
Really?
Lacrosse. Yeah.
Dude, lacrosse people, you got to do what the pickleball people are doing. You got to get out there and you got to get in people's face about
Blow
it.
out that ACL. Well, it's the fastest growing league, so they're growing faster than the WNBA.
I don't hear anything about lacrosse.
Because you're not white enough, Tyler. That's
pretty white.
That's my second racial epithet in the last couple minutes.
We
So
talk
I'll-
about pickleball all the time. That's pretty white.
Yeah. There's no black people playing pickleball?
I don't know. I'm not white enough to follow pickleball. I have no
review.
idea.
We're going to go scope out a couple local parks.
Ryan, very anecdotal. Ryan, last week we asked, can you be wealthy and not be a hypocrite as a religious leader?
Oh, great question.
Can you?
Oh, yes, Daddy.
No.
It's a gray area, and it depends because we're basing it off of texts that are thousands of years old. But as religions as far as religions like Islam or Judaism go, they say something along the lines of it's okay to be wealthy as long as you use that wealth to reinvest in your community.
Sure.
Basically, as long as you're using the wealth for good.
And taking it out of religious morals, because the problem with that is you could shop around and find different things. I would ask you the question, like, what do you think? If you're really great at Jesusing, okay, and that just happens to be a skill that you're great at, what should you do with the money that you make for it? Should you funnel it off?
Donate it? Isn't that it? But I'm just saying.
I'm asking you what you think.
Isn't that what Jesus would do though? That seems to be like his thing.
Well, not even making it Christianity, but I understand why you would go there.
Well, I mean, that's what I was raised up around.
I did say Jesus.
Jesus,
You're
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Wait, Muslims don't like Jesus?
Well, I think they have Jesus in their Bible, but he's not their savior.
Sure.
There's obviously it's a single verse from the Christian Bible, but Matthew 19:24, and I'm sure you've heard this
Don't
before.
you dare quote scripture at me, Tyler.
That's your thing.
Fucking asshole.
Again, I tell you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of God. I mean, there is no gray area there. That is literally the Bible telling you if you're rich, you're not getting into heaven.
I disagree with your translation of that.
How come?
I've actually thought about that a lot. What I believe that means at the core of it. Look at us having talk about scripture. Yeah. Finally,
well, just
this
so
has become a Christian podcast.
Just so I can talk shit about people who recite scripture.
Tim Tebow, get out here. What I believe that means is the challenges that you incur by having everything that you want is so high that it's harder for a rich person to be spiritually pure than it is for somebody with no options.
But isn't that kind of the same thing that we're talking about, where these wealthy people were getting in front of people and saying, hey, you want to love God? Donate to me. That to me screams con artist.
Well, what if you're donating to them and then they're taking that money and enriching the... Now you're saying in that idea, they're taking that money and putting it in their pocket.
Yeah.
What if you're donating to them and they're taking it and actually using it what they're saying for?
To those people, I say, hurrah. I'm talking about the people who get it and then put it in their pocket.
Well, what if you are donating it out to other people and while doing that, you're so good at it, it makes you rich?
But you get to decide how much you donate out.
I'm just...
Isn't the accruement of wealth to such a ridiculous degree, isn't that the antithesis of what Jesus stood for?
But can you accrue wealth, and who gets to decide that tipping point of, oh, that's too much? What if you can't accrue wealth to a ridiculous degree while still doing incredible work?
Yeah, I guess we're just a difference of opinions.
I won this one. Feel like I won this one. That's one for you and me, the big JC.
Oh, says the wealthy guy.
Hey, that was weird.
Ryan, do you...
No, I thought that was a really interesting conversation.
It was an interesting conversation.
I thought that we had a good little back and forth there.
Yeah, you're wrong. Ryan,
Sure.
what? Do you have any more?
That's it.
Okay, perfect. Well, that is Week in Review. Ryan, thank you so much. This has been a fun one.
Yeah, this was nice. I thought I liked our energy here.
Until that whole Christian thing at the end, that was weird.
You're going to hell.
Well, I might as well accrue as much wealth as possible.
Yeah.
Can't take it with you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Ryan, what is the moral of the story?
The moral of the story, Tyler, is that words that are spelled the same but pronounced with emphasis on different syllables is actually inductive of a part of speech.
I don't know what you just said to me.
So stress on the first syllable indicates a noun, while stress on the last syllable indicates a verb. So example, contract is a noun, but contract is a verb.
Oh, I hear it. That's interesting. Okay.
Tyler, what's the moral?
Not sure how that's a moral, but okay.
Think about that later on. Tyler, what's the moral of the story?
I'm not sure how to word this.
I'm not sure why I did that. That was really weird.
It was an interesting fact. It was just a weird place to put it.
I usually use that time to say something like substantial and like leave you with like an echo. I mean, what I said is interesting.
For sure. We did a fun fact earlier. You could have easily thrown it in.
Really sorry about that.
Would have been the perfect time.
Sure.
My moral of the story this week is that if you find yourself being, and I know this requires introspection, and if somebody's introspective, then you don't have these problems necessarily, but if you find yourself hating gay people, but then using Grindr, maybe look inward. If you find yourself being a hypocrite, and I realize this takes introspection. I get it. People don't think of themselves as hypocrites.
Even more than introspection, but please continue.
Agreed, but if you find yourself commenting or looking down on others because they did blank, and then you turn around and do blank, I think you would find so much happiness in looking inward and asking yourself, why do I judge this other person for this thing that I do? Because the answer you're going to come to, and it's very scary. It's very scary. But the answer you're going to come to is, I'm angry at them because I'm angry at that part of myself.
No! No! What about this? What if you're like, dude, I am so against it. I am going gay bashing tonight with my dick. I am going to.
Okay, now what gay bashing means.
What's the worst thing that you could do to somebody? Brutalize them internally over and over again for days and days, Tyler.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So then
I didn't even make the rally.
Make them drink antifreeze, okay? You don't have to go anally, all right? It's not a suppository.
Don't have to.
You don't have to.
We're just putting it out there.
It's just, if you're angry at somebody else for something that you do, you are angry at that part of yourself. That is just how it works.
Can't I just say, because I did the whole funny thing, now the real thing, what you're describing, what is the most obvious thing in the world, for some people takes a lifetime of dedication and practice to realize, to really know your motivations and even like really not compartmentalize your actions takes such will. And there seems to be something almost human that makes us not want to look at it.
Yeah, because there is something in our DNA that makes us not want to be wrong. Well, it's not something, it's survival.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, as you said earlier with saber-toothed tigers, if you were wrong back in the day, guess what? You died.
Sure.
You died.
And then nobody finds out I'm gay.
Exactly.
So it's a win-win.
That saber-toothed tiger just saved my life.
Get over here, honey.
Yeah, and that's the thing is back in the day, if you were wrong, you died. Now we still have that same reaction to being wrong. It's just now you can be wrong and live a healthy life. And so the happiness is embracing those parts of yourself, embracing and loving those parts of yourself.
Preach.
And so I hold out hope. While not everybody's going to do it, there are people in that group that right now hate gay people. I have no doubt that there are some people in there that somewhere along the line, they're going to see the error of their ways. They're going to see that they act this way because they feel this way about themselves. And guess what? I fucking love you. Man,
That's what we're here for.
I love you.
Sure.
And even the people who won't see it. I love you. I wish you would change, but I love you anyway.
I love it.
All the gay feelings in me. I love you. Ryan, oh wait, and we never said, tell them how they can get in contact with us.
Oh, THOSEGUYSYOUHATE.com will fulfill all of your, you can use it like Grindr, like truly.
Yeah.
We deliver like Pizza Hut,
That
baby.
is a suppository.
But with less sausage. And those
More
guys
sauce.
_you hate at Instagram and YouTube, those guys you hate at TikTok.
Nailed it.
And so will you.
We are those guys you hate.
Be kinder will kill you. We are good at this, man.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, wait. Oh, damn it. I was going to say it's neon, Tyler, not knee off. Damn it, Tyler. You're ruining the show.
You were about to call me an idiot.
No.
That was you leading into the idiot
No, that's not true. I was going to imply. No.
by calling you one.
I was in this yoga class in Ashtanga. Say Ashtanga.
Ashtanga.
That's fun, right? Isn't it?
It's a fun word to
It's
say.
getting all the sounds you want in one word. In this Ashtanga class, I know that this is probably not what yoga is about. It's not what yoga is based on, but I do the best ohms.
Oh, mine are great too.
You ever do the best?
I get into them.
Somebody's got to bring in the bass. Somebody's got to bring in the bass. You know what I heard about Om? This is getting off to a terrible start. You know what I heard about Om that I really liked that resonated with me, no pun intended? That is, if you were to zoom out on your neighborhood and then zoom out on your county and then zoom out on your state and on the planet and zoom out on the solar system and the universe, you got out until everything was all just one thing, all the sounds together, it would make the sound of Om. What do you think about that?
So I've just heard of it as the sound of the universe.
Yeah.
And I said, you're a fucking kook.
Like what if
I'm getting out of here.
What if the Big Bang theory, which is just a vibration, that's what an explosion is, what if that is the universal sound?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah.
Cool. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Tyler. Yes, and.
I mean, what do you want me to do with that?
Isn't that interesting?
Wildly interesting.
What if those two different languages are describing exactly the same thing?
They very well could be. Our science and our math are not far enough along to combine those things. But the more intelligent our species becomes, the less magic and religion is out there, and the more science it becomes. That's it. It just
Are you
becomes,
ready? Are you ready for another layer?
Go ahead.
Are you ready?
Go ahead.
In the beginning, there was the word, Tyler, vibration. What if they're all saying the same shit?
It's possible.
Hi, guys. How you doing? Welcome to Those Guys You Hate.
I'm already exhausted.
A conspiracy podcast that we've been pumping out here to let you know what's truly going on in the universe. Tyler, how are you, buddy?
I was good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I feel like we're out here kind of tackling the big things that people are embarrassed to talk about. Even us.
Yeah. We've come a long way. I remember when we first started, specifically in session 0, it was only dirty humor and curse words and all that because of how uncomfortable we were.
Well, you still are. As I was having that conversation with you right there, you completely shut down. You locked up.
I knew you were looking for a response from me. I didn't know what to give you.
Tyler, that's how podcasts work. That's how I am going to be looking for further responses from you, which may cause an issue.
But that's the problem, is you were not talking with me. You were talking at me. You were using your words like a weapon, like a whip.
That's fair.
And I got 10 lashes.
And somebody lost an eye. Tyler, all right, let's start breaking down the shit that actually matters, okay?
Okay.
The shit that actually matters. Because the shit about how life was created, where we're going, and what it actually means. Let's talk about, there's another handicap guy at my gym that I believe is taking advantage. Listen, I understand that calling out somebody who's handicapped is not a place of power. It's not a place. But what if it's true? Can handicapped people be rude?
Of course they can.
Okay.
Anybody can be rude.
Now, can we talk about it?
Nah, see, that's the thing, is we give them far more leeway.
Unfair.
No, why is that unfair?
It's like a superpower. And I think that it's unfair the advantages that handicapped people have. Somebody's got to say it. You're right.
Go ahead. No. I'd like to hear the breakdown of said advantages. Please tell me of all their advantages.
I'm worried about this episode,
Me
Tyler.
too.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the last one wasn't all that well put together either.
Why do you say that?
Well, I should say well put together. It was just a weird episode.
It was dark. Now, with the last episode, so many of these things work on the way that our brains are working at the time, which is true of most everything. I had been starved of sleep, and my brain gets a little darker when that happens. Mm-hmm. I will say this. There's a lot of things that I said on last week's episode. If you haven't heard it, go ahead and check it out now, that I'm kind of embarrassed of. Also, I thought it was funny. It was funny.
It was funny.
Dark humor can be funny.
Absolutely. I fully agree. There's just certain things where, you have to, if we want to monetize this bad way, if we want to make that moolah on here, we can't talk about, bleep, 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 bleep.
That's why we bleep it.
Yeah, we did have to bleep it.
I think we're good. You know what I mean? What about last podcast on the left? They say crazy shit on there. They seem to be doing fine.
They do. That's true.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that.
So this guy, and look at us treading in the, speaking up for the let's say in a circumstance. The last time we talked about a handicap guy at my gym, I thought I was speaking up for the handicap guy. I was saying, hey, are you using this guy as an accessory to meet people? It was just a question. I think I'm allowed to ask questions.
You're basically synonymous with a puppy dog. It's like, are you just carrying this person around so as to talk to beautiful women?
I just think that it would be more successful. That was the point that
And the puppy dog?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Anybody could get a puppy dog. You know what I'm saying? I won't complete that.
I feel like anybody could get a mentally challenged person.
I got to be honest. It's a lot harder than you would think. It really is.
We need boots on the ground journalism for that one.
Helmets on the ground.
Figure it out.
Anyway, I don't want to do this anymore. I was just going to say that this guy, he's not mentally challenged. He's physically challenged.
Okay.
And so I've never seen this guy go to a machine that's open. He always goes up to a machine that's being used and then puts a little pressure on them to get to moving. Mm-hmm. And inevitably, people cave. And I'm just saying, a braver person than me would be like, hey, knock it off. It's not very nice. Here's the thing. If you're in the gym, if you're there all the time, you should be able to work out almost anywhere. If that thing's full, find something else until that's not full and then go over there. I know that that's not the way everybody is, and that's fine. But don't be a jerk about it.
And what does he do? He goes over there and just stands in front of them?
No, he goes over and says, hey, how many you got? And he'll just stand there and just wait for you and like stare at you while you're doing it.
Yeah.
And there's no gym etiquette to it.
Gotcha.
I think he's playing dirty pool.
Okay, got you. Well, he was dealt a shorter hand, so he's got to pull that.
Why do you say that?
He's got to pull the ace out of his sleeve,
Why do you say that, Tyler?
You said he was physically handicapped.
I didn't say anything about his hands.
You said he was physically handicapped.
He is.
Okay. So would you say he was dealt a shorter deck than the rest of us?
I don't like what you're doing right
No,
now.
I don't like what you're doing.
See, we're at a stalemate. All right,
That's why they call them handicaps. If you're bad at golf, what do you get? A handicap.
Okay.
I'm glad this is on the pregame and people barely make it to this part of the show.
It's not true. Why do you say that?
I'm wishing for it.
Okay. All right. Anyway, handicap guy, we're watching you. Tyler.
Yes.
That's my fault. I started at a very
You did.
toxic place. But there is some sort of, before we just completely back out of this with our hands up in the air, there is something too. We should be allowed, there should be equality. And equality is also for when people are acting improperly. If you are to properly say, hey, don't do, he came over to my machine while I was off doing some other thing. He sat down and he started using it. No problem. No problem at all. I would let anybody do that. No big deal. I go back over there and I start to use it too. Didn't say anything. I'll share with anybody. That's my deal. And he's like, oh, I still got 2 more, but you can use it. And my backpack's right there, and I'm looking, and I'm like, I was here first.
Yeah.
You can use it.
Sure.
And I'm like, brother, if my younger brother was here, he wouldn't take that shit. He don't like that shit.
Yeah, I'd
You know
probably
what I
let him
mean?
have it.
Yeah, you'd just go to a different gym. But nonetheless.
There's a guy at our gym, and I see him very rarely, thank God. But it's got to be an ego move. It has to be where he will be in front of the dumbbells, and he will grab a bench and move them all the way up against the dumbbells, where his legs are pressed up against the bars that hold them.
Okay.
And so if you want the weights in front of him,
that's it.
If you try to like walk over him, he'll like stare you down. It's like, dude, like what? He must be doing it to try to get into a fight with somebody.
So wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me that somebody in the gym has a problem with their ego? Because I will not stand for that.
It's ridiculous.
I will lift this until my father loves me.
I was going to say it's like going to a yoga class and finding somebody with daddy issues. It's just unheard of, Ryan.
It's the only reason to go. But here's, it's me, Tyler. I'm the one with daddy issues. But I will say, and this probably won't shock you at all, in what you just described, I will absolutely go, even if I don't want those weights, I am going to grab those weights.
I know you would.
Oh, I did, because that's so ridiculous. You're being such a dickhead right now.
Yeah.
You're now choosing that nobody can use these weights. And what I truly believe is when I finally get Broga up and running, a huge portion of it is going to be not just gym etiquette, but going out of your way to be nicer to people. Why is being a dickhead part of gym culture?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
That needs to be, I think we do know why. The people who are drawn to the gym, not all of them, but a big portion of them are people who struggle with that kind of stuff. Want to make themselves more powerful.
I agree. Yeah, they want to make themselves look on the outside how they are incapable of feeling on the inside. Strong.
Wait a minute. I go to the gym a lot.